Daniel Ricciardo's time at McLaren hasn't been the best, and part of the reason why his struggles were so obvious was because of how consistent his teammate Lando Norris managed to be in the same car. Daniel has now spoken about this to the race. I'm your host Dillon Shelley, and first up on Formula World, Daniel Ricciardo does not want to be a bitter, sore loser, explaining Lando's better results. Daniel started off by speaking about the first of two reasons as to why Lando has been better at McLaren. It comes down to 2 points. One, I'll never take credit away from him. The kid's good, there's no denying that. And if I say that he's not, then I'm just being a bitter, sore loser. The kid's good. That's obviously one element. He can steer. He then divulged the second reason. The second is, ignorance is bliss. And I'm not saying he's got no knowledge of race cars. Not at all. I think he's quite actually in tune with what he does from a technical point of view. He signed off by elaborating further. But it's the only F1 car he's driven. Obviously, there's been variations of the McLaren, but he hasn't driven for another team. So in a way, he has got, I'm sure, used to some of the elements of this car. Fast feed. For Lando Norris, the arrival of future teammate Oscar Piastri will be something to look forward to. You get to learn from someone new. There are things that I'm still going to be able to learn from him. He's done a good amount of days in the Alpine car. We'll have someone fresh, and that just always reignites the whole team a bit. Mercedes driver George Russell feels that future AlphaTauri driver Nick de Vries has got all the possibilities to be a great F1 driver. Nick, meanwhile, is enjoying the moment. I'm not so conscious of the fact that I'm living my childhood dream. I still feel like I'm very young, and I still look very young, which helps. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff stated, without wanting to sound like a broken record, Abu Dhabi last year, Michael Massey decided to do something completely different, and that was never seen before. You can't change an outcome of the race by just starting to freestyle to put on the best show. We want a spectacular last lap or few laps, and I think I would be the first one to vote in favour of regulations that does that. Aston Martin's reserve driver Nico Hülkenberg pointed out that he is the third driver, but it's only in some emergency cases. So the training intensity is probably a little bit lower than at the beginning of my career, or than when you're active. But who knows, maybe there's an opportunity for next year for the future, and I've been picking up the training intensity. When asked who his strongest rival was, Aston Martin's Sebastian Vettel stated, Lewis Hamilton, especially when I was driving at Ferrari. Before that, my strongest rival was probably Fernando Alonso when he was at Ferrari. Should races be stopped and restarted if there is a safety car in the last few laps? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.